Did you know that we only retain 10% of information that we learn in class? In a 16-hour concealed carry course, that is only equivalent to 96 minutes. An hour and a half out of that 16-hour course is what you're actually going to retain. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can retain more information, not just in concealed carry defensive training, but in all things that you do in life. And yes, there's a reason why my hair looks this way. What's going on, ladies and gents? Joe Malone, former MARSOC Marine, and I teach men and women how to be safe against violence, violent crime. So we only remember about 10% of what it is that we learn. That's 96 minutes in a 16-hour class if you have a very good and engaging instructor. However, can retain more information, and this is how, because you need to make sure you're getting your money's worth out of your concealed carry or defensive shooting course, and you need to be able to carry that skill set over with you into a real world life-threatening scenario. This is why it's so important to remember the information that you're learning, because it's already going to be debilitated based off of your lack of experience in life-threatening situations due to fear, anxiety, and stress. And so you really want to be taking as much of that 10% or as much of that class with you moving on forward, which is the importance of continuing training and education. However, just for the initial set of the class and for all the other trainings that you do, you want to take as much of that with you as you possibly can. And so this is how we are going to maximize our ability to retain that information. However, the big problem that I see within the firearms training community and industry is that the instructors just really aren't that good most of the time. And don't get me wrong, there are some great trainers out there. I'm not trying to bash on everybody, but the reality of it is that a lot of them lack performance skills. A lot of them lack public speaking skills. They lack empathy with the students. They lack the ability to articulate the information in a way that is easily digestible down to the lowest common denominator. And that's why I think I make such a good trainer, because I am the lowest common denominator. However, I digress back to most firearms trainers just aren't that great at teaching. They might be great at shooting, which even that I would debate, but they're just not that good at teaching. So how can we retain the information even when we have a less than preferred or less than desirable type of instructor? Here's a couple of key things that you could take away with you immediately as of today. One, have some sort of an association with it. So at the start of this video, my hair was all messed up. Why? Because I wanted to create some sort of an association with my stupid, weird hair and this video and you remembering information and retaining it. Two is you could write things down. Of course, we go old school, we take notes. Typing doesn't really do it as much as writing it down does, and writing it repetitively, of course, is going to make a big difference. Which brings us to three, repeating the information consistently over and over again in your mind, maybe even vocalize it out loud, and also write it down, or after you write it down, you read it and you vocalize it out loud to yourself so that you could actually hear yourself saying the information over and over again. Four, know your learning style. Are you a kinesthetic learner? Are you a visual learner? Are you an audio type of a learner? Different learning styles affect everybody a little bit differently. So know how you best retain the information or how you best learn the information to begin with, so that way we could use these other resources available to add on to our ability to retain that information. And lastly, do reps. You need to do repetitions just like anything else in life, ladies and gents. It's how the brain forms neural pathways, but you have to do the right repetitions the right way. Start off slow, build yourself up through speed after you've already attained the accuracy in both the performance and the shooting metrics. It's very important that you do the reps, but you have to do them the right way. It does us no good to do bad things fast. Now, here is the single greatest, number one most important thing that you must do if you want to retain information from classes you're learning, especially defensive shooting handgun courses. I want you to take a moment and I want you to think. I want you to close your eyes and just think back to a memory in time, preferably over 5 years ago. It doesn't have to be, but I want you to try to think of a moment when you were a kid. And I want you to see yourself there in that moment. And I want you to feel what it felt like in that moment. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the key, is the emotional tether that you have to the most explicit memories in your past. We as humans remember emotionally charged events because that neurochemical disposition of emotion, whatever emotion you're feeling, produces hormones in the body. And those hormones actually solidify neural connections in the brain at a much more rapid rate. It's like 100 times of a greater rate as opposed to just sitting there trying to learn something. And so this is very significant because if you can attach an emotional tether to whatever it is that you are doing or learning, I can guarantee you, you will remember way more than 10% of it. This is the importance of having a good trainer, good instructor to create and cultivate that atmosphere and that environment, given everybody's different personalities. That's the importance of the instructor being able to come at you and talk to you as an individual and allow you to find that purpose and meaning as to why you are here taking whatever training it is that you are taking. Because when we can elicit an emotional response from you, that is when you now begin to remember that information at a much more rapid rate than anything else in this lifetime. You could write it, you could speak it, you could say it out loud, you could smell oils and touch your temples all at the same time. All that stuff is great, but nothing comes even close to comparing to having the emotional tether, the emotional tie. Now, what could we do to just make ourselves as effective as possible in remembering information? If we can combine all or any of these together, if we write things down, say it out loud, while look at certain visual cues, tap temples on our forehead, smell the gun oil or smell some sort of oil or substance within the room, create an emotional tether to the item, physically touch like the actual weapon or whatever it is that we're training on or learning. The more of these sensory inputs that we could stimulate, association, then the greater the more rapid the rate we will connect neurons in our brain, which means that we're learning at a much more rapid rate. That, ladies and gents, is how you can remember the most from these types of trainings and take them with you, but it also highlights and signifies the importance of having a really good instructor and trainer who can connect with the audience, who can connect with you. And if you are a trainer, you need to learn how to do this because your students aren't taking jack away from your class, except 10%, probably less if you're a less than desirable trainer. So just to conclude, normally humans only take away 10% of anything they learn. That's 96 minutes out of a 16-hour concealed carry course, which is the state requirement in the state of Illinois. If you have a good trainer, if you want to take away even more than 10% with you out of that classroom into the home and into your daily life, then you must find ways to either stimulate that sensory input by writing, speaking it out loud, finding association, textile, touching something like the weapon, having certain smells like the gun oil or some other type of oil, tapping your temples, and also having some sort of an emotional tether, your reason why. Why are you here today? Is it to protect yourself? Were you attacked? Is it to protect your family? Were they attacked? Was somebody you love hurt, killed, murdered, raped, robbed? That right there is the difference, ladies and gents, between kind of remembering things and then really remembering things. And so I encourage you all, learn how to defend yourselves, learn how to take care of the people you love the most, and find that within you, that emotional tie and that emotional tether, and seek out an instructor who you feel like you can trust in that type of situation and environment to actually cultivate the situation that is going to give you the greatest feeling, the greatest experience, the greatest emotions possible so that you can actually retain this information and take it with you into your day-to-day life. And if you are in the Chicagoland area and you want to do training like that with somebody like myself, former Special Operations Marine who's trained thousands of people all over the world, then I highly encourage you to check us out at joemalonetraining.com because that's what we are here for. We are here to teach everyday people how to be safe against violence, plain and simple, to give you the gift of absolute freedom by knowing how to truly make it through the worst case scenario. And the beautiful thing about it, guys, is that it doesn't always need to be the worst case scenario. It can just be any scenario in life because it bleeds over and through into all other areas and aspects of your life, creating a life of abundance and worry-free, stress-free living, because ultimately your brain knows that you have the ability to defend yourself. So check us out at joemalonetraining.com. Reach out, shoot me if you have any, don't shoot me. Reach out to me if you have any questions, shoot me some questions. And I hope you all have a great day. It's been a chaotic first day with 2 terrorist attacks. And 2025, I just really, truly hope that we don't continue to see this trend going with all the people who've crossed over illegally. And I'm here for you guys. So reach out if you have any questions or if I can help in any way. Take care.